Stratagem 9. Watch the fires burning across the river. Have you ever felt the urge to jump into an argument, whether it's at work, with family, or even in the comments section online? You see a fire starting, and your first instinct is to run towards it, to fix it, to take a side. But what if the smartest move is to do nothing at all? What if the best strategy is to simply stand back and watch? Welcome to our series on the 36 Stratagems, the ancient collection of Chinese strategic wisdom. Today, we re-diving into one of the most subtle and powerful of them all. Stratagem number 9. Watch the fires burning across the river. It sounds a bit cold, doesn't it? Almost detached. But this stratagem is a masterclass in emotional intelligence, strategic patience, and the art of timing. The core idea is simple. When your opponents or rivals are engaged in a conflict that doesn't directly involve you, don't rush to intervene. Instead, maintain your distance. Observe the situation as it unfolds. Let the conflicting parties weaken and exhaust each other. By staying out of the fray, you conserve your own energy, resources, and reputation. You remain untouched by the chaos. Imagine two of your colleagues at work are locked in a power struggle over a project. They're constantly undermining each other, sending passive-aggressive emails, and creating a ton of drama. The temptation might be to pick a side, to try and mediate, or to get involved to protect your own interests. But watching the fires suggests a different path. You step back. You continue doing your work diligently. You observe who is making logical points and who is being driven by ego. You see their strategies, their strengths, and their weaknesses. While they are busy burning each other out, you are preserving your political capital, your focus, and your sanity. When the smoke finally clears, one or both of them might be weakened, discredited, or simply tired. And you're in a prime position to step in, offer a clear-headed solution, and take the lead. Not as a participant in the conflict, but as the problem solver who rose above it. This isn't about being lazy or cowardly. It's about being strategic. Every battle you fight costs you something: time, energy, emotional well-being, maybe even relationships. A wise person knows which battles are worth fighting. By watching from the riverbank, you're not just avoiding the fire. You're gathering intelligence. You learn about the landscape, the players, and the dynamics at play. This principle is a cornerstone of high emotional intelligence. It's the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is impulsive, driven by emotion. It's jumping into the river because you see a fire. Responding is deliberate and thoughtful. It's assessing the fire from a safe distance, understanding its nature, and then deciding on the best course of action, which might very well be to let it burn itself out. Think about online arguments. Two people are going at it in a comment thread, throwing insults back and forth. You feel strongly about the topic. Your fingers are itching to type out a rebuttal to prove someone wrong. But what happens when you jump in? You get dragged into the mud. You spend hours defending your position to strangers who have no intention of changing their minds. You end the day feeling drained and frustrated. Now, apply the stratagem. You see the argument? You read the points. You understand the different perspective, but you choose not to engage. You conserve your mental energy for something more productive. You let the digital fire rage on without you, knowing that your intervention would likely just add more fuel. You've protected your peace, and that is a victory in itself. The same goes for family drama. When two relatives are in a long-standing feud, inserting yourself in the middle often makes you a target for both sides. By watching from a distance, you can still be supportive to each person individually without getting entangled in their conflict. You can offer a listening ear without taking sides or becoming the messenger. You maintain your relationships with everyone while they sort out their own issues. However, this stratagem comes with a significant moral and ethical warning. There is a fine line between strategic patience and passive complicity. The risk of watching the fires is that you can become detached, apathetic, or worse, a coward who avoids responsibility. So, we have to ask ourselves some tough questions. Are you watching to be wise and strategic, or are you just avoiding a difficult but necessary confrontation? Is the fire across the river a petty squabble between two rivals, or is it a house burning down with people inside? The stratagem is brilliant for office politics, petty disputes, and ego-driven conflicts. It's not meant for situations involving injustice, bullying, or harm. When you see someone being unfairly targeted at work, or a vulnerable person being attacked, watching from the riverbank isn't strategic hits, a moral failure. In those moments, inaction is a choice, and it's a choice to side with the aggressor. The fire isn't across the river anymore. It's on your side, and you have a responsibility to help put it out. Knowing when a conflict is just noise and when it has a call to action is the true test of wisdom. So, how do we apply this in our modern, hyper-connected, hyper-reactive world? We are constantly bombarded with information, outrage, and calls to engage. Our attention is the currency everyone is after. In this environment, the ability to be calm, to observe, and to choose your battles wisely isn't just a strategy, it's a superpower. It's about developing strategic patience. It's about understanding that not everything requires an immediate response. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is wait. Let the situation develop. Let the initial emotional storm pass. Often, problems resolve themselves, or the path forward becomes much clearer after the dust settles. This doesn't mean you become a passive observer of your own life. It means you become an active observer. You are engaged. You are paying attention. But you are not being pulled into every current. You are the calm center in the storm. Let's do a little reflection. Think about the last week. Was there a conflict or a drama that you got pulled into at work, online, with friends? Looking back, what would have happened if you had applied Stratagem 9? If you had stood on the riverbank and just watched for a while, would you have saved yourself some stress? Would you have seen a better way to handle the situation? And on the flip side, was there a time you stood back when you should have stepped in? A time when watching the fire was an excuse for not doing the right thing. Recognizing that distinction is key. The goal is to be a strategist, not a bystander, a wise observer, not an indifferent one. So the next time you feel that pull to jump into a fight, take a breath. Step back and ask yourself, is this my fire to fight? Or is it one I should watch from across the river? By mastering this art of observation and timing, you not only protect your own peace, but also become far more effective when you do choose to act. You'll be acting with clarity, purpose, and a full reserve of energy. And that is a powerful position to be in. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the 36 stratagems. If you found this perspective helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next episode. What are your thoughts on this stratagem? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time!